Okay, let's talk about missing person scenarios and put all of this together in a way where it can be used as actionable techniques and applicable ways you can actually do good and save lives. Okay, you're going to see why I start with sensory and then go to communication challenges and end with missing persons, because they really do all fit together as a cohesive approach to understanding the autistic mind and serve us to better protect and serve our communities. All right. I hope it's clear, but I want to drive home the fact that everything I've learned and everything I'm passing on to you and all these things I've learned hasn't been through book study, and it hasn't been through any kind of training programs I've gone through. Everything I've learned from making mistakes. And if there are mistakes to be made out there, I've made them, either in my canine career, my police career, or as a dad, raising a son with special needs, and having to just feel my way through all this and learn as I go and follow my instincts and just learn this world that's foreign to many of us as I go. And I failed a lot. And from those failures, it's absolutely true. You learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. And from those failures, I've learned lessons that I try to pass on to you. So hopefully you don't have to learn them the hard way, like I did, and you can and do some good in your career. I've lost my son 5 times. Lost him 5 times in his life. That's not including the dozens of minor kind of just minute long misplacing, like where did he go, that moment of fear. I mean, I've lost him requiring minutes of searching. I've lost him once out my front door. I've lost him once out my back door. I've lost him once at a mall near my house. I've lost him in Palm Springs in the desert on a golf course, and I've lost him at an amusement park in San Diego in a water park. Each of these times I've lost him buckled me, damn near paralyzed me, and really, really, really drove home to me the psychology of what happens to an individual, to a parent, when the unthinkable happens, when you lose everything, you lose your child, and it really, really will paralyze somebody and rob you of your ability to function and think clearly and just perform. And now the irony hasn't been lost on me that I am an instructor. I teach this stuff. I am a experienced and decorated canine officer whose job it was to find people who go missing. And when I've lost my own son, each time without fail, I nearly crumbled and I was paralyzed. It's that powerful when it happens to you. I'll tell you a story about the water park story. Me and my family took a vacation out to San Diego. My son was, I think, 6 or 7. My daughter was 10. And we took a vacation out to the West Coast. So SeaWorld out there has a water park attached to it. I think it's called Aquatopia or Aquatica, one of those. And it's a real cool water park. It's beautiful, and it's an amazing place. And my son loves water parks. He's very sensory seeking, and water parks are something that he loves. So it was day 3 of our trip, and we went to this water park, and it was a cool day, not in the high 60s, low 70s, and it didn't matter to my son. He still loves being in the water. And on this particular day, I was going to be the hero dad, and there was going to be a boys' day with me and Eric. We're going to go and do our thing, and my daughter and my wife were going to go do the water slides or do whatever they wanted to do and be freed up for the day. So I had my son with me for the day. Now, remember what I said before, how the plan in these individuals' mind is so critical, and I explained to you how important that is for my son. So what we had to do, this is no different. When we go on vacation, we have to plan out what we're going to do during the day, at regular increments. So we sat down before we started and we made a plan. And the plan was we were going to go into the wave pool, spend some time in the wave pool. Then we were going to get something to eat, get a hot dog. Then we were going to go to this place that I'm sure you've seen, this nightmare of a contraption, this splash jungle gym where there's just, buckets pouring on you and things splashing and kids running around and it's just chaos. And it's a special needs parent's nightmare. It's hell. Okay, so we were going to go to that, but my son loves it. He calls it a splash castle. And then after that, we were going to go to the lazy river and float on the tubes in the lazy river. Sounds like a great plan. So we initiated a plan and everything was going great. We spent about an hour, 2 hours at the wave pool and he was having a blast. He comes out and he says it's time to go now get something to eat. So we go get our hot dog and everything's fine. After the hot dog, we go to this splash castle hellscape of a contraption, and my son goes off and starts playing on it. Now, like I said, it was kind of cool that day, so I didn't want to get wet. So I kind of stood on the perimeter of this thing, and I walked around the perimeter, and we had put a bright bathing suit on him, and we followed all the rules, and I was keeping a close eye on him, and I was, being vigilant. And on this splash castle, there's a suspension bridge that the kids run across and run back, and it's kind of rickety. He goes, and I'm watching him, and he runs across the bridge once and turns around and comes back across the other side. And then he goes back another time, and he gives me a head fake. And I think he's going this way across the bridge. He stops in the middle and jets the other way. And I lose sight of him for a minute. There were a lot of kids running around, and it was pretty chaotic, as you can imagine. So at first, I become a student of the psychology of this. The first minute goes by, and you're kind of like talking to yourself, and you think any minute now you'll find his bathing suit, and everything's going to be cool. Then 2 minutes, 3 minutes goes by, and your pulse starts quickening, right? And you start to feel the physical effects of what's going on, and it really starts to hit you that, okay, where'd he go? I don't see him anymore. I'm out here by myself. My wife's nowhere to be found. We didn't have cell phones. Where's my son? My son's not here. Where is he? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes goes by, and I'm just circling this splash castle looking for my son, and I can't find him. And like I said, I'm a decorated police officer, and my job is to find missing kids, and I teach these techniques. And I'm telling you without any reservation that it never occurred to me to ask for help during this situation. Never occurred to me. I'm 15 minutes in, can't find my son in San Diego in a water park, and I don't even think to ask for help. I'm just feeling myself slowly go down the tubes emotionally and start to panic. After about 15, 20 minutes, it finally registered to me that there were lifeguards that I could go to, tell them that I'm missing my son who's on the autism spectrum, give them a description, and ask for them to help me. So I did. I went to the first lifeguard I saw, and God love her, it was a young girl. She's in her late teens, and is probably on a summer job or a spring break or whatever. She did her best to listen to me, and I explained his description. But there was nothing she could do to help me. So I left her and I started walking around again and really started to go down the tubes. And then it occurred to me that I had to go find security. So I ran and found a security guard. And again, he tried his best to help me and took my son's description and was saying, "Sir, okay, I'll pass his description around and we'll find him." And I really started to just lose it. Then I went into cop mode. So I started ordering everybody around, and I started ordering the security guard to shut down the water and clear out everybody from this ride, this attraction, and close down all the exits. And I'm starting to order people around, and I don't even know if I'm making sense, but I was just flailing at that point. And while I'm just about to completely lose my mind and panic and just completely go off the deep end, I swear to this day that God himself reached down and tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey dummy, the plan. Remember the plan." And it struck me like a bolt of lightning. Oh my God, the plan. After the splash castle, we were going to the lazy river. And it hit me. So I run over to the lazy river and I jump up on a rock, and I started to get yelled at by a lifeguard, a young kid, a lifeguard is ordering me down from a rock. And I'm trying to explain to him that I'm looking for my son, and I don't even know if I'm making sense. And he's yelling at me and I'm yelling at him. And I'm just about to go wrestle with this lifeguard who's trying to get me down from this rock as I'm trying to look down in the water for my son. And as I'm just about ready to grab him and wrestle with this young kid, I look down and I see my son in the water, floating in a tube, without a care in the world, just enjoying his day in the lazy river. And he didn't even know he was in danger. He didn't know it never registered to him that anything was wrong. It occurred to me later as I'm decompressing with a beverage. It occurred to me that all he was doing was following the plan. He was going on to the next step in the plan. He just forgot to tell me. And his timeline of how long we were going to spend at this crazy splash castle place differed than mine. And he went on to the next phase of the plan. He got in line, grabbed a tube, and he was just doing what we had talked about. And he didn't know anything was wrong until I jumped into the stupid pool and started hugging him and crying and holding him close to me. Nothing registered that anything had gone wrong. He was just following the plan. Okay, that's how strong this is with these individuals. Okay, and things like telling daddy he's leaving or anticipating what might happen if I'm not with him, or none of those things registered to my son. He just had a focus on a plan and was living his day as we had talked about, and it was that powerful. All right, I tell that story because A, I want you to know I'm a human being, and B, I'm not an expert, and there are people out there who have forgotten more about autism than I'll ever know. I've made these mistakes and I've lived them, and there are a number of ways I want to try to pass that on to you. So maybe at some point this will register during a search for a missing person. It'll register in your head. Oh my God, the plan. I remember what that goofy guy in New Jersey told me about a plan. Let's go talk to mom. Okay.